Hi everyone, I'm Claire. Today's workshop is about feet. So we largely forget about our feet, and they're so important to look after. So today's all going to be about feet, and I'm going to show you how to move your feet more, and I'm also going to show you how to buy a decent pair of shoes. What are the 4 or 5 things to look for when you buy a shoe? Really important. So yeah, let's just briefly talk about feet. We have 33 joints and 26 bones. So 25% of our body's bones are in our feet. So that kind of tells you that our feet are made to move lots. They're very dexterous, like our fingers. So they're made to move and grip and yeah, and they support the whole of our movement. So everything you do with regards to movement starts with your feet. And of course we've got, I think it's something like 200,000 sweat glands in our feet too. And so yeah, so taking care of them is really important. And if you think about childhood, if you look at a toddler's foot, it's really bendy and moving and moves a lot. And then once we put children into shoes, it's like putting your foot into a cast for many pairs of shoes because they're really stiff. And so no wonder now we have like an epidemic of insoles in our shoes, and we talk about flat feet, and we talk about all these things wrong. It's mainly due to the fact that we don't really move our feet in the way that they're meant to. Our footwear does not allow our feet to move properly, and so when that takes place, we end up with really weak feet. So the exercises I'm going to show you today, or the moves, are all around keeping your feet strong. And you know, if you think about older age as well, if you think about the type of footwear that older people wear, they're really comfortable wide shoes, and it's only till we get older that we wear the right shoes for our feet, but by that time our feet are absolutely in a mess. So yeah, I've got an interesting thing to say as well. Leonardo da Vinci called the feet the most complex piece of machinery ever designed. Yeah, and they have the ability to change as well. So if you if if you are thinking about transitioning to barefoot shoes, or what wider, more flexible shoes, it will take time, and your feet will change, and you can do it. And the benefits of that are huge. So there's been some research done on it, and people's feet become stronger and they move better as a result of barefoot shoes. And when I say barefoot shoes, I mean shoes that meet the criteria that I'm going to talk about. So you don't have to go out and buy really expensive shoes, although there are some quite funky ones out there. So when we think about how our foot moves in our gait, so how we walk, we do a heel down first, and then the foot, and then we push off on our toes. This isn't very good for demonstrating this. I'm just going to show you with my own foot, because it's all stuck together. So when we walk, thinking about heel strike first, flat foot on the floor, toes spread out, and then this bend in the foot needs to take place. And what we find is lots of shoes. So this is an example of a really poor shoe of mine, that doesn't really bend much, really hard to bend it. So the flexibility that exists in my foot is taken away by this shoe. So the other thing, I want to say is the big toe is so important as well. So if you find yourself rolling to the outsides of your feet all the time, if you stand a bit like this, and start thinking about the contact of the joint of the big toe with the floor, and using that as a push off to push forward, push yourself forward. And I think, if you've got bunions coming on your toes, so that's when you get sort of I've got a bit of one here. Look, where your toe goes crosswards. This can be helped by being a bit more engaged in your big toe. So I'll show you some moves to do around the big toe strengthening. So I just want to talk really quickly about shoes. So when you pick a shoe, try and pick a shoe that has a wide toe box. So for example, this shoe here of mine has a really wide toe box, so my foot can fit in this shoe and it can still bend. That's what you want to look for. You also want to make sure that the top of the shoe keeps your foot against the sole. So if you think about flip-flops as an example, they don't have a top to them, and they cause your toes to screw up when you hold them on. Also, like Birkenstock shoes, not the best. They sell as being really comfortable, but actually the mechanics of how you walk in them means that you're holding them on. You screw your toes up as you sort of flip them forward. So always make sure that you have something on the top to hold your foot with the sole, a lace or a strap or something. So wide toe box, really secure on the top, and also flat. And when I say flat, if you look at a pair of trainers, you might find that they're elevated slightly. So the heel of the trainer is quite thick. You really want to avoid that, because this is the reason why. When you stand, so if you think about your feet and your leg, if a shoe is elevated only a slight bit, have a look at the impact that has. So you're meant to stand like this. This is your leg and this is your foot and the spine's above it. So if you think about what happens to your spine and your body when you're on an elevated shoe, it doesn't need to be a heel. It could also be trainers. Then the whole of the upper body and the legs have to back up on themselves to straighten up. So the impacts of a heel, no matter how small it is, are quite a lot on your back. So really think about trying to find something that's really flat. So that's really important. Things like this are fine if it's all the same flatness, or if you wear a trainer that has on the sort of instructions that it's a flat trainer. The other thing to think about is if you compare this is so you can see that when I wear this shoe, my toes are really scrunched into it, really pushed together. The other thing as well is make sure that the base of the shoe is not stiff, so that it can bend. If you look at this shoe, it really bends this way and this way. So you want shoes that are as flexible as you can find them, especially for your job, especially when you stand up loads all day. You want to make sure that you're standing in this 90-degree angle and your back and everything above your legs is stacked up properly, as we've talked about in other workshops. So flexibility, wide toe box, secure top, and also, yeah, not high at the back. Yeah, so let's look at feet then. So if you grab a ball or something really nice, I'm just going to keep the camera down low. So really nice thing to do every day with your feet is to roller them. So let's just roller them and think about you know, releasing off the feet. The muscles in your feet get really tight, especially if you wear shoes that are constricting. So then think about stretching your toes out wide, rolling your foot. This is a really nice thing to do. If you have a standing desk, then having a ball underneath the desk is one of the best things that you can do. So make sure that you can move your toes, go along the arch. So just briefly talk about the arch of the foot. People don't really have flat feet and also and types of arches that people describe. The shape of your foot is determined by the footwear that you use and the muscles that you use in your foot. So if you don't use this arch of this foot to walk, or you don't sort of diversify the surfaces that your foot walks over, then the strength in this arch goes, the muscle is weak and the foot is flat. So people who have flat feet, it's just a symptom of the way that they walk, what they put on their feet, and a lack of movement in the feet. So if you think about the surfaces that we walk on all the time, we always walk on flat surfaces. So I know in Hong Kong there's loads of great paths, hiking paths. If you can use those more and give your foot the real diversity of surfaces that it needs, and you're going a long way to supporting your feet more as you get older. And even so, if you can transition to wearing more barefoot shoes on those surfaces as well, which takes quite a long time, so don't underestimate how long it takes to do that, then that's all good stuff for strong feet. So our next move that we're going to do today is you can roll up a towel at home, or you could buy one of these foam calf stretchers, or you could use like a stone or something. So put the ball of the foot on the calf stretcher, and then we're just going to stack up the hip, the knee and the ankle. This is a massive game changer stretch for your body. And I'm doing this because the calves and the ankle and the feet are obviously all linked, and you want to get the maximum movement, the maximum support from your feet. And to do that, you need calves that are flexible. And very often when we wear shoes that are elevated at the back, then the calves are on all the time. So think about that too. If you're wearing a shoe that brings the heel of the foot off the floor a little bit, it doesn't matter how much, then your calves are on all day. So it's really beneficial to stretch your calves. So let's just hold it here for a minute. So think about hip, knee and ankle being in a straight line. And you could perhaps step the other foot forward as if you're walking too. And always remember that our gait involves a straight leg push at the back. So you will often see that people don't have a straight leg to push off on. Let's swap sides. So ball of the foot, heel down on the floor, leg straight, hip, knee and ankle in a line. And then maybe you'd like to step forward. Just stretch out the toes. Make sure that they're not scrunched up, that you can actually move them. So you can use anything. So if you're out and about, waiting for a bus, on a hike, and you're waiting for people, take the opportunity to do a calf stretch. And if you've got enough room on your rolled up towel, you could do a double calf stretch as well. So think about pouring the hips forward from the top, pour, and then you can have a lovely stretch all the way down the backs of your legs and sort of push your bottom back too. This is like your go-to daily stretch that you should do. Feet are straight, knees are relaxed. Thighs rolling gently outwards, tailbone up. So think about pouring the hips forward, and you'll feel it. You might want to put your hands on the chair. Okay, let's go back to the feet now. So very often you find that we never really move or stretch the tops of our feet. So we're going to do a top of the foot stretch. So take one foot back, tuck the toes under, and then imagine that you're pulling this leg forward like this, but don't pull it, just allow the top of the foot to stretch. When you think about where your foot is, try not to let your ankle drop out like this. Try to keep the ankle straight. You might need to observe yourself. So don't let your ankle drop out. And then draw the top of the foot towards the floor. And sort of a gentle pull forward will stretch the top of that foot. So this is something that you could do in the daytime. Ooh, and then a swap feet. So tuck the toes under. Remember what I said, don't let the ankle drop out to the side. Keep the ankle straight. Draw the top of the foot towards the floor. You might get a bit of cramp in this position. So if you do, bring your leg closer in. And if you wanted a longer stretch, you could take your foot further back. You find your top of the foot stretch. Top of the foot stretch. Such a great stretch. My feet have become so much more pain-free doing a few of these moves, fitting them into your day. Top of the foot stretch. And then let's go back to the other side. And now we will go out to the pinky toe and across to the big toe. So if you watch this small movement, out to the pinky toe, out to the small toe, across to the big toe. And if you wanted to, you could tuck under your hips and combine it with a bit of a front of the leg stretch, front of the hip stretch too. And let's go to the other side. So same thing. Oh, you might find the front of your top of your foot is really tight. So, practice it and be gentle on yourself. Some of the things that I've shown you to do might be really difficult for you. So just be compassionate with yourself. So big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe. Maybe tuck under the hips, have a bit of a hip flexor stretch. Ooh. Right, we're going to now do something really simple, and we're going to lift up our toes, spread them out and place them on the floor. We're going to rotate our thighs outwards. So remember what we talked about knees. If you're looking a bit like this, now's your opportunity to have your feet flat on the floor and straight. Lift up your toes, spread them out, and then rotate your thighs outwards. Straighten up the legs. Bring your weight back. So that's another thing as well. So where you place your feet, if you have a lot of foot pain, it could be due to the fact that you stand with your hips forward. So if you think about all your weight in your body is in your pelvis, and you're constantly pushing that weight off the midpoint, the center point, onto your feet, onto your toes. If I had a plumb line down here, it would go and hit the front of my feet on my toes. If you have pain in your feet, could be to do with this slight move. All you need to do is back your weight up over the heel of the foot, because the heel is so strong. It's made to take the whole weight of your body. So let's go back to our toes, stretch them out and place them on the floor. Let's see if you can lift one big toe at a time. So this toe, see if you can lift a toe at a time. Try to keep the other toes relaxed. And then go to the other side, lift the toe. And then see, go back to this foot and see if you can lift the big toe and then peel the rest of the toes off the floor, and then peel them back down, peel them off the floor and peel. So for lots and lots and lots of people I meet, this is inaccessible to them. Some people can do this straight away, which is cool, but some people take a long time to do. So if you're one of the people who's finding this hard, keep at it. Go to this side, so peel the big toe off, and then peel the rest of the toes, bring them down to the floor, peel off, down to the floor, peel off. Try not to move your ankles to do it, so don't use your ankle. Yeah, so anything that involves moving your toes around, spreading them out, is really a nice move to do. Just going to show you something else. I'm going to sit on a chair so I can come closer to the screen. So this is really nice as well. So, you know, we learned a figure of 4 stretch the other week, but see if you can get your fingers in between your toes as well. See if you can go like this from time to time, stretch out the toes and then sort of stretch them like this. And give them a bit of a stretch. Oh, it's raining again in England. When will it ever stop? Yeah, so just give your feet and like think about, you know, in between these bones, so in between the bones, sort of running your finger down is a really nice thing to do. Sometimes you get a bit of tension in between the bones, and if you can run your finger, oh, you can see them all there, look, run your finger in between those spaces, that's really nice too. So let's grab the big toe now, because we're so dependent on this big toe, but we want to make sure it's flexible. We want to pull it out to the side. If you're experiencing some bunions, so sort of an inflammation of this joint, and your toe goes off to the side a bit like mine, really your big toe is meant to be straight. So any opportunity to sort of have a pull on this big toe and wiggle it around. massaging the foot. Yeah, massaging the arch of your foot as well. Really nice thing to do. So just anything to keep your toes more mobile. You could stretch them apart as well. So sort of do this, stretch, 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 stretch. If you have kind of, now that you can see the bottom of my feet, I have some corns here. If you have corns on your feet as well, it's a sign that your shoes have pushed inwards. So if you're getting quite a lot of corns, it may be because your shoes aren't wide enough and they push your foot in. So, you know, shoes can do this kind of damage to your feet. They push all your toes together. So finding shoes that allow your foot to be a foot, really important. Wiggle around, so swap feet. So we did fingers through the toes. I bet the kids would love to do this too. Can you actually get your fingers in between your little stubby toes that I have? So wiggling, manipulate. Don't forget, use your thumb to massage the insides of your foot too. The ball's great for that too. So, and then don't forget, sort of in between these bones, run your finger, wiggle them all around, stretch them, pull them apart. So pull them apart, pull them apart. Oh, pull them apart. And then really focus on this big toe. People do not realise, I've only just realised myself how important this big toe is. It has such a connection with your brain, and it's so connected to your gait, and you need this strong, your arch of your foot strong. So I'm just going to show you a few things to make your feet stronger. So you might want to use a chair. So just a simple thing like this. If you have your feet straight, remember I talked about feet straight. So making sure that when you stand, your feet aren't out like this. So you don't want this rotation outwards. If you observe yourself and you are rotating like this every day, has a big impact on your hips, huge impact on your hips, because they rotate, the joint is rotating outwards. Really, any opportunities you get, try and stand with your feet straight. So think about this joint, the ankle joint, and the last bone of your baby toe being in a line. And you might feel like your big toes are coming inwards, but that's fine. Start to get used to having your feet straight and then rotating your thighs so that your knees track directly over your ankles. And then let's just, and lovely strengthening exercise is really simple. It's just this, coming up onto the ball of your foot. So just gently come up and down, bring all your weight onto the ball of your foot, this bit here of your foot, this bit here, so that when you're up here, you're not on your toes, so you could actually move your toes. And think about, do I roll outwards or do I use that joint of my big toe? So be really mindful of where your strength lies. So you might do a few of these and then you think, oh, my feet are really aching. So this is a lovely thing you could do at school every day. Just a few of these. You could go onto one foot if you want to. Have to hold on to something. Yeah, this is a lovely strengthener. So, and make sure you don't kind of swing your weight forward to do it. You want to just go straight up and down, not swinging forward. Up, down, up, down. See if you can lift up your toes. So you're really using the ball of your foot. Okay, that's a really nice thing to do. The other thing it's really nice to do is to stretch your big toe. So put your big toe against like the side of a wall or a chair leg, and then hold it there and lift up your ankle. So the big toe against the chair leg, and then lift up your ankle. Excuse me. And the other way, you could put your toes against the chair, bend them, and then lift them up very gently. So just stretching everything out, really. So go to this side, big toe, let the toes drop down the other side of the chair leg, and then lift up. And then swap around, maybe have a go with your toes on there. You don't have to have all your toes, just pick a couple and just lift the heel off the floor. Lift your heel. Okay, so rollering, calf stretching, hamstring stretching, so the backs of your legs. And let's have a quick go at this. So just have a straight leg, straight feet, push your bottom back, thoracic stretch, put your hands on the desk as well. This is just a wonderful stretch to do every day. Slide your shoulder blades across your ribs, stretch the back of your legs out. We'll just do that quick routine to finish. So stretching like this. Step forward, calf stretch. So the back of your leg there, straight leg at the back, feet both facing forward. Calf stretch. Swap sides, calf stretch. Go back to the other leg. Step forward, lift up onto your back toes, drop your knee, and let's tuck the hips under. So you have a lovely stretch there. So squeeze your bum, tuck your hips under, and stretch out the front there. Let's go to the other side. Step back on your toes, drop your knee, tuck your hips under, hip flexor stretch. Ooh. So thoracic stretch, calf stretch, calf stretch, hip flexor, tuck your hips under, hip flexor stretch. And then let's do, this is really good for the arch of your foot, so a rotation. So keep your leg fixed and just rotate about your hips. This is really good for the arch of your foot, strength of your feet. Let's go to the other side. Really nice. Undo your hips. And let's come back to back of the leg stretch. Very important, stretching out those back of the hip, the legs and hamstrings. Breathe into your ribs. Lower your head down if you want. Push your bottom back. Best stretch ever. You can also do it on the wall as well. Last thing I would like to leave you with is when you're out and about on a walk, collect a few stones. I have a few stones under my desk here, look. No, I'm a bit strange, but yeah, look, collect some stones. They're absolutely fantastic for just diversifying how you stretch your feet out. So you could use them, practice walking over them. Just get a few stones. Great for kids. If you've got a bit of space in your classroom and somebody's feet are hurting them, or they feel like they want to use their feet, you know, reflexology in Hong Kong is just, foot massages are amazing, aren't they? You could replicate it in the classroom with stones and stuff. So I use these stones a lot because I feel like, you know, your feet don't really get the movement that they need. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. If you would like any advice on shoes, I'm going to put a list of footwear suppliers. Unfortunately, they're largely in America, so you have to import them. But I'll put a list of them. And if you want any help at all with shoes or foot pain, there's a fantastic book that is really easy to read for anybody. It's called Simple Steps to Foot Pain Relief, and of course it's by Katie Bowman, and it's a really fab book. It talks about all the things that we've covered today. Yeah, so please reach out to me if you need any advice about feet and ankles. All right, thank you for coming along. See you soon.